Sup, bro? How was your Halloween party last night, bro?
Dude, it was so dope. I crushed so many brewskis. How about you, bro?
Dude, I crushed so many brewskis, dude. You don't even know. I smashed so many hot chicks, dude.
Dude, tight, dude, tight.
Super sweet, dude.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Infinity Effect. I hope you had an amazing Halloween, you bunch of savages out there. Hope you didn't get too crazy. Today, we are talking about alcohol. And I want to preface this by saying that we do not endorse underage drinking or overdrinking or anything like that. So before we even go on anymore, just so it's out of the way, we want to make sure that you guys know that.
Be responsible.
Be responsible adults. If you're an adult.
Yeah, if otherwise,
And if you're not,
just
then
be
you shouldn't be
responsible.
drinking anyway, so...
So before we begin our discussion on alcohol, we first have to dig a little into the different kinds. Now, there are two essential kinds of common alcohol, and they're divided up by how they're made. First of all, we have fermented alcohols like beer. They're formed by a sort of chemical process where you basically mix everything up and leave it somewhere to sit, and it ferments.
Yummy.
Pretty simple. Yeah. The other kind is hard liquor. Now, this is different because it's distilled. There's not really a fermentation process. You might do something like when you have something in a still like moonshine or whatever, you're kind of separating it through maybe heating it up. The alcohol and the water will boil off at different temperatures, and so you'll end up with alcohol in one container and whatever else is left in the other.
So first about beer. Now, beer has been around for a long time. We have ancient pottery that was found. And in China, it was said that even like 7,000 BC they had beer, and we have some tablets from Sumeria that said it was 6,000 years ago that claimed to like 0.2 beer. Of course, it wasn't as efficient as it is today, and it probably wasn't as widespread, but at the same time, it was still a thing back in the day. And I think that's really crazy that it's been around for so long without the essential way to do it changed that much.
Yeah, ancient AF, dude. Pretty
Ancient
lit.
AF. Pretty lit.
Let's go get crunk, dude. So liquor, the distillation process is a little more complicated. It's not quite as easy to have it just kind of happen accidentally. And so it wasn't actually discovered until quite a bit later. Around the, I think, 9th century, they discovered evidence that there was actually an intentional distillation process that was being developed in the Arabic region. And it became very popular in that region.
Okay, so fun fact for you guys, the term spirit is actually referred to an alcohol that has 20% or higher alcoholic content and has no added sugar. So if you're looking to cut out sugar in your life, you can get spirits instead.
I thought spirits were ghosts, Zach.
Ooh, we're past that though.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that was
a
while ago.
bad joke.
Yeah, that was
Just
bad.
cut that.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about how our culture perceives alcohol, because we have a lot of evidence that alcohol is not so great of a thing, and a lot more negatives than there are, if you can even argue that there are positives to alcohol consumption.
I think getting crunk is pretty positive, Zach.
Getting crunk, crushing some brewskis.
Mhm.
Well, that's something I want to talk about, though, because like why I feel like there is and I'm not completely opposed to alcohol, but I think there's an age, right, where it is almost socially acceptable for you to get completely inebriated and do really stupid stuff. And that's
You're using
usually
a lot of big words right now.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying. I've been bumping up my vocabulary. Thank you for noticing. Especially around college age, right? From like 18 to like 22 or 23, all you hear about is like, oh man, we went out last night and it was crazy and this, and it's like a funny, thing. And no one really thinks too bad about you for doing that unless you're out like ruining your life or something, right? Like, stealing stuff or whatever.
In a more flashy way than,
Right,
marinating your brain in alcohol.
Exactly, but that's the problem, right? Is that it does a lot of stuff to your brain that's still developing, especially when you're in that age, and it does really bad stuff to your liver, and especially when you overindulge in things like that. And I wonder why it's not. Maybe I'm not saying that I think alcohol should be banned. I just think that the awareness for what it does to your body should be increased, because especially at that age, like that is probably the start of a lot of people's drinking problems.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we're a little too flippant as a society about it.
Yeah.
I think it's not given the sort of seriousness that it deserves. I think the idea that we have Super Bowl commercials for beverages, alcoholic beverages every year, and people look forward to that. That's mad.
And
That's
it just said, the only thing that it says on there is please drink responsibly. And then you have things like cigarettes that are not even allowed on television anymore. Or if you do buy a pack of cigarettes, it has a huge warning on it. This thing can cause cancer, which is fine. But I'm wondering why that rule doesn't apply to other things that are equally, if not more so, dangerous. Because I mean, how many people die or get arrested for DUIs every year? I mean, I'm sure it's out the roof.
It's got to be a cultural thing. I mean, we'll look back to our own country's history, not even talking about ancient Sumeria and China, but just almost within someone who's alive's possible lifetime, we had prohibition.
Yeah.
So, and you saw how that went. I don't know how many of you guys have been through middle school social studies, but people really like alcohol for some reason.
Yeah, they really do.
They'll do anything for it, just about.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. And again, I'm not against the complete ban of alcohol. Like, I don't think prohibition works. Obviously,
yeah,
it didn't
clearly
work.
not.
But I think people should be more aware of the negative effects and how it can affect your life, because overindulging like that could lead to a lot of really bad things. And so I think maybe overall, kids that age who drink, especially if you drink underage, that's not okay. But if you do, maybe overall it's not a terribly bad experience for you. Maybe a certain percentage walk away with not having any long-term effects, or maybe it doesn't affect your life that much. But I think the ones that it does affect way outweigh the ones that it doesn't. Because you hear all the time, oh, we went to this crazy party, this happened, and you kind of think to yourself, like, would you have done that if you were drunk? If you weren't, if you were sober, and if you would, that's fine. You can do it. You are allowed to do what you want to do as a human being. But I just think we should have more awareness. A little bit.
Yeah. I think we should be able to have fun without putting ourselves in danger or changing the way our brain works.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know we got kind of serious at the end. It was a little weird.
Sorry about that.
But I think I think it's valid, and I want you to know what you guys think. So please leave comments. Please leave us suggestions on stuff you want us to talk about. I think we're going to try to do like a manly month this month, because of like No Shave November and stuff like that. So I think we're going to do topics in that realm, but we're always open to suggestions. So you guys send us messages, email us, do whatever. You can find our links in the description for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Keep your pants on, everybody.
Keep your pants on.